Hi, I'm Kate with The Productive Teacher, and today we're going to play the word maker game with the et word family. One-syllable words have onsets. Those are the letter or letters that come before the vowel in a word, and they have a rime. That's the vowel and any letters that come after it. Words in a word family can have different onsets, but they have the same rime. In this case, the et rime. We're going to combine onsets with the et rime to see how many words we can make in the et word family. As we go through the video, you can listen to me read the words, you can read the words along with me, or you can put the video on mute and read the words by yourself. Let's get started. Bet. Bet is a word. Set. Set is not a word when it's spelled this way. Remember, the letter C makes the S sound before the letter E. Det. Spelled like this, det is not a word. Fet. Fet is not a word. Get. Get is a word. Het. Het is not a word. Jet. Jet is a word. Ket. Ket is not a word. Let. Let is a word. Met. Met is a word. Net. Net is a word. Pet. Pet is a word. Ret. Ret is not a word. Set. Set is a word. Tet. Tet is not a word. Vet. Vet is a word. Wet. Wet is a word. Yet. Yet is a word. Zet. Zet is not a word. Chet. Chet is not a word. Fet. Fet is not a word. Shet. Shet is not a word. Thet. Thet is not a word. Quet. Quet is not a word. Wet. Spelled like this, wet is not a word. Blet. Blet is not a word. Bret. Bret spelled like this is not a word. Clet. Clet is not a word. Cret. Cret is not a word. Dret. Dret is not a word. Flet. Flet is not a word. Fret. Fret is a word. Glet. Glet is not a word. Gret. Gret is not a word. Plet. Plet is not a word. Pret. Pret is not a word. Slet. Slet is not a word. Smet. Smet is not a word. Spet. Spet is not a word. Stet. Stet is not a word. Tret. Tret is not a word. Scret. Scret is not a word. Shret. Shret is not a word. Splet. Splet is not a word. Squet. Squet is not a word. Stret. Stret is not a word. Threat. Spelled like this, threat is not a word. Let's count up the words we made. All right, we made 12 words in the et word family. Awesome job. I'll see you next time.